Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Eric Restivo, and let's queer up student and youth culture. History as Jonathan Van Ness' mystery book, Let Them Stare, features non-conforming teen and a gay ghost, honey. Jonathan Van Ness is making LGBTQ literary history with Let Them Stare, his first fiction book, and with a heartfelt young adult mystery starring a gender-nonconforming teen and a gay ghost. The Queer Eye star began writing Let Them Stare back in 2022, teaming up with best-selling author Julie Murphy, whom he calls so incredible. The book was just released after 3 years of love, labor, and learning. It tells the story of Sully, a non-binary teen desperate to escape their small Pennsylvania town, until a ghost named Rufus from the 1950s changes everything. Sully stumbles upon a vintage bag at a thrift store only to discover it holds the spirit of Rufus, a gender-bending gay man with unfinished business. Together, they uncover Rufus's mysterious death and the hidden queer history of their town, including an underground gay speakeasy. In real life, Van Ness says he wanted the book to be a possibility model for queer youth, especially those in small towns facing increasing anti-trans and anti-LGBTQ laws. He asks, quote, "Why can't we make a world where people can find acceptance and success and fulfillment even in the small towns, even if you're queer," end quote. Van Ness, who grew up in Quincy, Illinois, says learning about his own town's queer history, including a gay bar called Irene's Cabaret and a pen pal magazine from the 60s, inspired the story. At the heart of Let Them Stare is the idea that queer community across generations is key to survival. I got the good goosebumps reading this story, everyone. This is cute. And to my thinking, it's the only one of its kind right now. I know that there are other gay authors and gay character-led stories. I'm not sure I've heard of a non-conforming character teamed up with a fabulous ghost. Like, this is a pair that I would like to see and read. And I'm still a huge book person. Like, my mom bought me a Kindle and I don't use it. I prefer a book. Yeah. So even a child's book, I will purchase and support, Jonathan.
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's cute.
That cover was so cute. The dinosaur all dressed up and stuff. Let them stare.
Let them stare, honey.
Let them stare.
It's so great to see him using his platform. Or they go by they?
I think that Jonathan accepts he, she, they, them.
Okay, so he, she, they,
yes.
them. Jonathan.
Open to all possibilities.
Yeah.
I always, those that I'm not certain on, I always teeter on just the name Jonathan,
Jonathan,
for me. Yeah.
Jonathan's platform is just so wonderful to tell this story because, obviously it feels a little personal to me, from his perspective.
Yeah.
So, it's cool to see that, obviously, children's books, are going through a turmoil with LGBTQ.
And have been. They have been, right.
General.
And
so, they're being pulled out of all libraries and stuff and, the resources. And it's so great to see that people are inspired to write, especially for our youth.
Right.
And especially targeting them and giving positive stories because we need that. Beautiful. Because eventually when the books aren't banned, we still need those stories. Keep writing.
And it's so unfortunate that it takes so much courage to write a book now that's about something that's so positive and wonderful. But I think it's fantastic.
Well, and it takes a lot of courage too in this time and political climate to be a queer, non-conforming human as Jonathan is themselves. So to put this book out in the children's book category, you're already walking into the room of adults who don't even agree or have time to think about why we choose what we do for ourselves because they're just ignorant, right. And they will just already hate on the book just because of Jonathan. So it's already a tough crowd to break into. So I want to follow this story and see how Jonathan's sales are within the first few months of the book being released. But just a side note really quick, I thought that this is kind of relevant to this. I grew up on Long Island, New York, kind of like a conservative suburb outside outside of New York City, and they were closing down all of like the Barnes and Nobles and all of those bookstores recently. And just about 6 months ago, they reinstated a Barnes and Noble in the town where I'm from because of the demand. And it looks like Barnes and Nobles are coming back in a little bit of a fashion. So bookstores are not dead yet. This is a good thing.
And they come back like smaller, more boutique.
It's coming back in like the same there's a cafe, everything, but it was out of business for 3 years and now it's coming back. And I noticed there's a Barnes and Noble here up by us on Federal.
It is
really great, beautiful. Not to sidetrack, but books are still alive and well, and support your local bookstores.
And books.
Yeah.
And they attack the LGBTQ plus community. We find a lot of that in Barnes and Noble too.
Barnes and Noble highlights LGBTQ storytelling. They have a whole section for us as well.
Yeah.
So and for LGBTQ youth, teen, and adults. So it's broken down and it's really beautiful, especially the one here in South Florida.
Yeah.
So support when you can. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.